Hello, 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 everyone. Yes, hello, hello, hello. We are live, we are live, we are live. So, yes, it is the back to school masterclass. How to get your child prepared for the next academic year. It's going to be so packed. If you are here, if you are watching me live, if you can hear me, if you can see me, let me see your comments in the comment section. Yes, let me see your comments and let us know where you are joining in from. If you are here live with me, let me see your comments in the comment section. Your name, you can drop your name and tell us where you are joining in from. Yes, this session is going to be fire. I mean, fire. There's a lot. I always say that there's a lot for us to learn as parents. And it's unfortunate. Some people think that parenting, I don't have to learn parenting. I don't even need to learn anything about school and all of that. But hey, it is very important that we learn so that we can become better and give better to our children. So yes, my name is Ekia Safo, and I am the founder of Pick Parents Academy. If you are new here, I want to do a little bit of introduction and tell you about Pick Parents Academy. So Pick Parents Academy, the Pick means positive, intentional, conscious academy. And what we do is that we help parents, okay? We give parents practical strategies to be able to raise their children. Yes, practical strategies that work, strategies that I have implemented. And I mean, a lot of parents have also implemented, and it's working. That is what we do in the academy. So if you are new here, this is about Pick Parents Academy. You can hit the subscribe button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and let's keep it moving. If you didn't invite any friend, it's not too late. That person can join. You can invite your family, anyone at all that you wish to not miss this session. Ensure you send a link to the person so that they can also register and join us live. I welcome you once again. And without wasting much time, I want us to start, move on to the first presentation. Thank you, and I welcome all of you.
Okay, thank you so much, Kuya. Yes, it's wonderful being here. So, because our time is very limited, we will just move straight to business. So, I'll just do a little introduction of myself and what I have to deliver to you today. Then we get to work. Okay, yes. So, let me put my. Okay, yes. So, my name is Kwame Obeng, and what I do is that I'm an entrepreneur and also a family coach. And most of the time, too, we do a bit of trainings here and there with the Pick Parents Academy with other schools and stuff. So basically, my passion is helping people bring out the best in them and also helping raise kids the best way possible. I'm quite very passionate about raising children to become the great leaders we want them to be. And my philosophy is that parenting is a divine contract. Okay, I always say it everywhere I go. So it's a divine contract that you have with God as a parent, so you don't have to joke with it. Now, this class is about how you're going to raise future ready kids. Okay, so how to prepare your children for the next academic year and beyond. We are not just going to look at the academics, but we're going to look more into what will make your child become the best child that they have to be, how they are going to master the academic work, whether they are facing challenges now or not, and what or how do they handle life in school and after school. Okay, in school and after school. And today, what you're going to gain today is we're going to give you a proven 3-step blueprint that you can implement right away. We're also going to give you 5 downloadable tools, and it's not theory, okay? So tools that you're going to be able to implement right away and see results in your child's performance in school and also your child's performance everywhere that they find themselves. We also give you the exact scripts as to how you're going to have conversations with your children here and there. And after everything that we do, we're going to share all these resources with you. We will also share the presentation with you. And we would also introduce you to the Alpha Kids Mentorship Program. Okay, it's a designed program, an exclusive elite leadership development program for kids. Now, you see, most of the time this might not, I don't know about most of you, but most of the time we enter into webinars and we face distractions here and there. So these are the rules that I want all of us to take good note of. If your WhatsApp is open or if you have any other thing that is going to distract you, please put everything away. Close your WhatsApp right now, okay? Unless we want you to put up a message or your email or something, or you have to get a resource, or there is a short exercise that you have to do in this presentation. And please take notes, okay? So you can grab a sheet of paper and pen. If you can also record, whether you can record the screen or you can record the audio, do. And please do stay until the end. We have a special surprise for you. So let me, okay. I hear my video is off. Please, if you see me, you can send a comment into you can give, please, if you can see me, you can just send a message that you can see me so that I can continue with the presentation. If you see me, you can send a message that you can see me. Let me check. Facing network issues here. Let me see. Okay, so yes, okay, great. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much. Yes, MTN is troublesome at times, even when you're using a Wi-Fi. So please forgive me for that. Yes, so we go straight ahead into our presentation. Yes, so the harsh reality we are going to address, in this class is that, you see, a little bit of statistics to push us into this class. 7 out of 10 students experience exam anxiety, all right? And 65% of parents focus only on grades, ignoring emotional development. I'm a parent myself, and I know a lot of parents also do the same thing. We are so glad when we realize that when a child vacates and comes home, the first thing we ask of the child is, what was your position? Or if you request for their terminal report or whatever report, we look at how they performed in their grades. We focus so much on grades and we ignore emotional development and other aspects of the child's development. We forget that the school or the academic development is only a part of the child's general development into life. Okay, and only 3 in 10 students have clear goals beyond passing exams. I'm a parent. I'm also currently at the University of Ghana School of Law doing a special program. And most of the time you realize that at every stage of academic activity that you get to, we make the mistake of just focusing and learning just for exams. And it goes throughout let's say children, adults. So far as you're a student, only 3 out of 10 students, okay, have clear goals beyond passing exams, which shouldn't be the situation, all right? But here's the thing. Average preparation equals average future. Elite preparation equals future-proof leadership. You don't just want your child to grow up to become a professor who knows how to remember all the concepts and the terms in the school notes, the science booklets and all that. You want your child to be a leader. You want your child to have an impact on society. You want your child to be able to carry on after you when you leave this earth. You want your child to be a successful person. You want to sit, let's say, 20 years, cast your minds, 20 years forward, 10 years forward, 30 years forward. You are sitting in your hall, in your house. and your child walks in into the hall, or your child walks in into the home, what sort of child are you anticipating to see? Just imagine, just a few seconds. Just imagine, okay, fast forward 20 years, fast forward 30 years, fast forward 50 years. When I hear of my child, or when I see my child coming, what level of achievement in life, emotionally, psychologically, academically, financially, socially, every aspect of their development, what sort of child or adult child do you want to see? So it is very, very important. So if you don't intentionally invest in your child's education and their upbringing, you're going to have an average child. And this investment is not going to yield any great results for you. Okay? The real cost is that your child either becomes a chew and pour champion. All right? We've all been there. There are times that you are just chewing and going to pour in the exams. That's all. You can't apply anything you learned. They will be great at memorization and terrible at thinking. Critical thinking will be zero. Your child would either become a chew and pour champion or a social media zombie, because these days, I don't know, some of you might have kids who are above 15 years, who are above 16 years. Some of your kids have access to gadgets like phones and stuff. Some of you too have kids who are preteens and toddlers. That is fine. But the way social media and technology is developing, we're going to get to a point where you can't do away with these gadgets. But the key thing is that, is your child going to be hooked so much on these gadgets more than just applying or acquiring leadership skills? Okay. Yes, Nyakon has sent 3. I don't understand. If you have any question too, you can put it there after my first session. Then we will address the questions, all questions that you have. Okay. And number 3, or you're going to have an alpha kid, a kid who is academically excellent, emotionally intelligent, and future ready. And I believe so much that everyone on this platform, everyone in this class wants a child who is at number 3. I want to believe that that is the reason why Madam Yanya Akwa there just sends the number 3. Yes. So you're either going to have a chew and pour champion or a social media kid who cannot critically think and lacks basic leadership skills, or you're going to have an alpha kid, a kid who is academically excellent, emotionally intelligent, and ready for the future. So that when you are no longer on this earth, you have a child who is going to continue your legacy. Now, which one do you choose for your child? The first thing I'm going to talk about is a 3-step parent blueprint. So this class is going to be in 3 sessions. So the first session will be a 3-parent blueprint that you can implement right away to help get your child prepared for the next academic year. I know some of the schools have reopened already. Some too are starting, let's say, tomorrow or Tuesday. Some too may be starting next week or next 2 weeks. But every bit of information we give you in this class is very, very important. Every bit of information we give you in this class is very, very important. So kindly take note and apply them. Okay? Yes. So the first thing, the 3-step process, the 3-step blueprint. The first is assess. Okay? Assess. Have an assessment of your child. And it is the reality check. Okay, most of us parents, we don't understand the learning styles of our children. We don't even understand the love languages of our children. We don't know the temperament of our kids. So let me ask you these questions. Can your child concentrate when they are studying for 30 minutes without checking their phone if they are kids, let's say they are teenagers who have access to phones? Or, sorry, if they are preteens, can they concentrate without moving away from whatever they are doing, meddling with their toys and all that? How is your child's concentration strength like? What triggers the academic anxiety? When it's time for exams, how do they react? When they get to class, do you even understand or know how they behave in school? Do you even communicate with your teachers? Okay, their confidence level. Okay, who are their 3 closest friends? This is also very, very important. If you're a parent here in this class and you don't know your child's friends in school, then please, that is very dangerous. You have to know your kids, the friends that they keep in school. It doesn't matter whether they are 6 years old, 10 years old, 12 years old, or 18 years old. You should know. Then find out about these students who are your child's closest friends. What do they talk about? There are ways, but that is not for this class, okay? So there are ways you can find out about whatever goes on in the lives of your kids. They'll give you information. And the key to that is getting connected, connection with your kids. If you are so connected with your children, they will be able to open up to you and give you every information that you need. So assess your child. How is the situation like? Have a reality check. Parents must set academic and character expectations early. Once you understand how your child behaves, their status, their strength, how they perform in school and everything, then you must be able to set academic and character expectations early enough for them. Okay. And most of us buy textbooks and hope that, okay, God will do it for us, everything will be in place and all that. But no, it doesn't have to work that way. And in this presentation after the class, we are going to give you a resource that you're going to use to actually help you assess your kids. You're going to use that tool to understand your kids, their leadership quotient, how they behave, their character, their exam anxiety, their focus, and all that. Okay. Now, let me give you the 5-point assessment system. And you can use this. If you have your notes ready, you can put these things down. The first thing is academic readiness score. Okay. And it's on this resource that we're going to give you. You can easily download it, print it out, and use. So the first thing under this one that you have to look at is the current performance versus the actual potential of your child. You should know, how is a child performing? There are some kids who can be excellent kids in school, but now they are not performing well. There might be reasons why they are not performing well. So if your child is, let's say, scoring 50 in maths, but probably if you understand them, you realize that they are living or they are performing below their potential. You should understand this. You should also study their habits effectiveness. Okay, their study habits, how effective their study habits are. And you should also be able to understand how they prepare for their exams and how you can assist them or help them prepare for their exam. All right, so the next thing is also the emotional intelligence quotient. The emotional intelligence quotient. How emotionally intelligent are your kids? Their stress management ability, their self-awareness level, and their empathy and social skills. Third is leadership tendency index. Okay, how are they able to take initiative? Initiative taking frequency, problem solving approach, and how they have influence on their peers in school. The fourth thing you need to look out for is digital wellness score. Okay, so if your kids are I also understand that most of we parents, we give our phones to our kids to play when we want them or we want to be free of them. Okay, some of us also use it to study or some also use it to learn. But the screen is good for certain purposes and it's not good for certain things too. So you should understand how you are controlling the screen time with your kids. So the screen time balance, how do you balance these things? The content quality that is consumed, what they are consuming on your phones or their gadgets, their laptops or their tablets, and the real versus virtual relationship. And the last one you need to also look at is future readiness rating. Okay, so have you been able to help them set goals? It doesn't matter. Goals do not have an age threshold. Of course, if your child is around 6 years old, you can break down simple goals for them to follow. Goals in the home, goals in school, and they should be able to understand these things. Also, you should know their skills beyond academics. If your child is a teenager, are they able to cook? Are they able to sweep very well in school? When they go to school too, how involved are they in extracurricular activities? All right. So what other skills do they have apart from just studying and learning their books? Then the last one under this one is the role model quality. Do they have any role models? You should find out. There are kids, every kid should have a role model. Some of us are lucky, our kids choose us as their role models. Okay, so what role model do you have for your child, or what is your child's role model? And you should assess the quality of that person who is serving as the role model for your child. So, this is your assignment. Use the assessment wheel that we're going to give you. You download it and rate your child honestly. Okay. Do not judge whatever you find about your child, or if you don't understand anything to, you can put the questions in the WhatsApp group that we're going to help you with that. The second step, after you've been able to understand your child, okay, after you've been able to understand your child, assess them, know their weaknesses, know their learning styles, know their love languages, how they perform in school, the problems they are facing, and all. The next thing is that you should align. You see, clarity equals confidence. So if you yourself, you understand what is really going on or what you are aiming for, and if your child also understands what they are going in for, their target in school, it is very, very clear. So they are confident that this is what they are working towards, and they're going to do whatever it takes to achieve that. So as I said earlier on, we must set academic and character expectations early enough for the kids. So if the academic year is beginning, okay, last term, what was their performance? Are you okay with it? How are you aiming for the next academic year? Are they going to improve it or not? You look at all the subjects that they did. Okay, if it is maths, English, whatever subject, and you look at it, you can set your goals. Okay, this term, what we are going to do is that we're going to improve our performance in maths. All right. So you look at that and see how best you're going to set your goals. Okay, let's say it is maths that you're setting your goals in, or it is English, or whatever subject that you're going to set your goals. Now, you can also look at the fact that, okay, how confident your child is in the academic year or whatever they are doing within, whether they are home or in school. Do they wake up early? Are they able to dress themselves? Okay, so set goals for the academic year. And the strategy is that you can write down 3 expectations. So you look at the academics, what academic expectations do you have? What family expectations do you have? And the leadership expectations. You should be able to discuss it with your child in a language that they will understand. Then the third thing is that set routines. And this is a very important aspect of the 3-step blueprint. Understand your child, understand their current performance or their current state, and set routines. All right. What is that? Okay, great. Sorry about the network. Yes. So set routines for your child. Okay. Now, kids thrive on routines. Even if they fight it, they thrive on routines. So what we have in our home is that the kids know what they are going to do in the morning and they follow it. So once they wake up, at times too, what we do is that we write everything that they have to do. So you wake up, you pick your bed or your mat, you pack it, you pray, you go and brush your teeth. Every activity that a child has to do in the morning is set out for them. Set routines, morning routines for them, afternoon routines. So after school, immediately they return from school to the home. What do they have to do? Okay, they greet, and after greeting, what do they have to do? They remove their school uniform, or what do they do next? They do their homework, or you give them their snacks, or you feed them, or whatever. Plan whatever routines that you want your children to follow. And in the evening and also before bed, what do they have to do? So that you can build that sort of habit in them. You see, most of us expect our kids to be able to interpret things, But it doesn't work that way. They are kids and they are now picking. So there are two things or two ways that you can get your kids to cultivate a habit. The first one is setting routines for them, and the second one is providing mentorship and modeling. So modeling is when you, the parent, you act in the way you want the child to act. It's as simple as that. So if you want the child to love reading, one thing about me, when I was growing up, my father really loved reading. Another thing too is that he would always be listening to VOA and BBC News. So when I was growing up, I automatically picked it up. I loved listening to the BBC. I enjoyed listening. It didn't matter how late it was. Sometimes I will wake up in the night around 11, 12 o'clock and even at dawn and listen to VOA News. I enjoyed it because I saw my father doing that. And newspapers too, I saw him reading newspapers. So I loved reading anything that had print on it. So if you want your child to perform extraordinarily, please model that behavior to your child. Model it to your child. So after you've set their own routines, and about the routines too, what I advise people to do is that don't just set the routines and allow them to follow it and be doing it on their own. No. The first thing you do is that try and be doing their routines for them to understand that, okay, this is how, if they have to sweep or wash utensils, okay, after school or before school or whatever, if they have to iron, you need to be doing it for them and let them watch. After you do it and let them watch, the next step is to help them do it. You do it with them. So do it for them, do it with them, let them do it as you supervise, okay? Then you can leave them to do the thing. So first of all, do it for them. The next thing is do it with them so that they can pick it quickly. Then the next step is let them do it as you watch or as you supervise when you set these routines. Okay, so this is a three-step system. I will just do a quick recap of what we discussed right now. The first thing is that try and understand your child. I'll bring it on. Yes, so try and understand your child, the skills they have, their temperaments, their learning styles, and everything. And if you don't get the whole thing, once we give you the resource or the tool, you will download and be able to use it very well. Then the next thing too that you have to do after you've assessed them, you need to align with them. There are some homes, the father wants the kid to become a doctor, the mother wants the kid to become a teacher, and the grandmother or the grandfather wants the kid to become, let's say, I don't know, a pilot, but the kid wants to be Sarkodie. You see, the kid wants to be Sarkodie. So you should understand what the kid really wants and try and guide them towards that end. So let's try as much as possible to do these things. And after aligning, what we have to do next is to take action. Let the kids act, and we should also act as parents. Create your routines for them. So if you're a parent in this class and you don't have any routines set for your kids, these things that we are talking about are very, very, very simple to do. Just do them and make sure you are consistent with a child on these things, and you see positive results this academic year. And the last bit of it is model it. So if it's a time for them to read, also pick a book. You can buy a personal development book on leadership, on business, or anything. Sit down and read, and also let your child sit down and read. Anything that you want your child to do, model it for them, because kids learn better by seeing, by observing, than hearing what you tell them to do. So thank you. This is the first session. I'll allow Ikuya to continue with the next session before the last session comes.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this very insightful session. I believe we've all learned something new. So I would want to start with my session, my parts. Please, can you show the slides? All right, thank you so much. So let me see, how was the first session? How was it? I hope you got what you wanted. So let's move ahead with my session. and it's going to be in two parts. Part A, we are going to talk about the little known mindset of top performing kids. And then the part 2, or the part B, will be about how you can balance academic preparation with emotional strength. Next slide, please. So yes, that is what I've spoken about. That is the part A. Next slide. Yes, so we are going to look at why mindset, trumps intelligence. Mindset is not equal to consistent performance. Most of the times, as parents, as Coach Kwame said, most of the times we are focused only on the academic, development of the child. We don't really look at other skills that we need to build in the child. And I read a story, not even a story, a parent shared with me some time back, and she was just telling me how the child was intelligent, and the child, sometimes they got to a time the child's behavior totally changed. Because the child was intelligent, they weren't focusing too much on building other skills. They were just focused on, my child can do this, giving the child, more learning. The child will sit down, learn. Even if the child complains that they are tired, they want to take a nap, or they want to go and play, it's not allowed. The child was expected to always sit and learn. Those things, it doesn't really help the children. So the fact that your child is intelligent doesn't mean that you need to ignore other parts. You need to ignore, you don't have to do something to build their mindset. Mindset is very, very important. So we are going to look at, next slide, please. So let's look at how we can build some habits, to help with the mindset of the kids. I'm not going to talk about the growth mindset. I mean, we all know that, okay, you can actually go on Google and search for, the growth mindset, the fixed mindset, and all of that. But of course, at the end of the day, we all want our kids to have the growth mindset. So what are some of the habits we can build to let them have the right mindset that will actually empower them to go through the academic year without, burnout, without too much complaint? So children rise to the words they repeatedly hear and say. And the first habit is daily identity declarations. Daily identity declarations. Children rise to the words they repeatedly hear and say. And that is why I always say that I tell parents in the Inner Tribe program. We also have a program called the Inner Tribe program, where we take parents on a 1-year journey. Every year we do that to help them. We believe that for you to actually be able to parent well, you need someone to hold you accountable. And that is why we created that program for parents. So that is about that. So I always tell those parents that whatever you say to your child, okay, you are forming the identity of that child. So if you are always telling your child that your child is a fool, you are a goat, you are this, you are that, that is what the child, at the end of the day, that is what they believe about themselves. So what you are saying to your child, what the child is saying to themselves is very, very important. We need to take note of that. So children rise to the words they repeatedly hear and say. So what are some of the, you can create maybe some morning declarations for your child. So every morning before they set out for school, so my kids do that every morning. They have their affirmations that they say. Some of the things that they can tell themselves for the morning declarations is maybe I am capable, I learn from my mistakes, I love challenges because challenges make me stronger, I am disciplined. And these things you ensure every day. Once you have your routines set, Coach Kwame spoke about routines. It is very, very important. It helps create a structure where, in the home, you don't just get up and do whatever thing you like. No, you need to have a routine that you follow. So every morning after they are done, maybe they wake up in the morning, they do this, they take their bath, they eat breakfast, they finish everything, and then they pray. After praying, they can just stand in the mirror and affirm these words. That is the morning declarations. So you tell them they are important. Okay, so you can maybe type out some words. We also have, I think we have some affirmations that we put together. And if you want it, you can get it from us. So you just print them out. You can laminate and give to the child to say, or you can also print out and then you paste on the wall. So every morning, or maybe on your room, your mirror, so that every morning the child will look on it and affirm those words. They are very, very important. As they keep saying it, they are forming their identities. They are forming their identities. And I always say that sometimes, we just let the kids, you can't, for example, you can't say, maybe if you want to cook yam, you don't just say, this yam is very nice. It is so nice. Okay. And then you expect the yam to cut itself and then go set itself on the fire. No. As you are affirming the kids, as you are saying those positive things to them, as they are also saying to themselves, ensure that they are living it. Anything they do, ensure that. So if, let's say, your child is telling you that I am capable, I love challenges, I am capable, I believe in myself, and then in reality, they face a challenge and then they go like, I can't do this thing again, I'm tired of this. You remind them, hey, you said you love challenges. Challenges make you grow. So we are going to do this together because this is a challenge. And what you say, let them actually come to life. Let them see it. Okay, so this is a challenge. I am someone who really loves challenges, and I know that challenges makes me better. Whenever I face a challenge and then I solve it, or I don't run from the challenge, it makes me become a better person. So you need to let them practice the affirmations they are telling themselves, who they are, whatever thing they are affirming every morning. Ensure that in reality they practice whatever thing that they say. It's very, very important. So if they tell you that I am a very disciplined person, let them know that, okay, what are some of the things that a disciplined person does? A disciplined person is someone who is able to pick up a book and make sure they complete that book. They make sure that they put their things in order. They are very time conscious. So you let all those things you do to help the child. Can we go to slide 2? So the morning, declaration practice, something you can do. You can just sit down yourself as a parent and craft that for your child. I say all the time that parenting, you don't need to do it anyhow. You don't have to say you don't have time. You need to have some time for your child. Your child, spending time with your child has to be your priority. And you need to take note of that. So the habit number 2 is treating failure as feedback. Yes, treating failure as feedback. Most of us fear failure. Most parents, whenever our children fail, we yell at them, we beat them. Whenever your child makes mistakes and you are beating the child, you are trying to tell the child that mistakes are not allowed. And as humans, we all know that mistakes are what make us better. We make mistakes, we learn from the mistakes we make, and then we do better next time. So when your child fails, treat that failure as a feedback. Top performers don't fear failure. No, they mind it for lessons. That is what top performers do. We need to stop, beating our children when they fail. Whenever they fail in their exams, we shame them. We are comparing them to their siblings. This person did well to their friends. Your friend did well. You are in the same age class. You are the same age as this person, and see their result. They did so well in maths. No, if you do that, you are killing your child. You are gradually killing your child. So we don't have to do that. Celebrate, you can have a family meeting every week, maybe during dinner. You can create a family tradition. Every maybe Friday evening, you sit with your kids and then you talk about their failures. Who failed this week? How can we actually, you can call it a failure debrief. Okay, once every week, you ask your children, what mistake did you make? Or what did that mistake that you made teach you? It's very important. They need to know that mistakes are allowed. As human beings, we are not going to be always perfect. We are going to make mistakes. But when we make mistakes too, we can learn from those mistakes, because those mistakes can actually make us better. I always tell my children, it's okay to make mistakes, but make sure you are learning from that mistake so that tomorrow you don't repeat those mistakes. So let us take note of that. And habit number 3, the focus ritual. Attention is very, very, very important. Attention is a muscle. Kids must be trained to focus. Kids must be trained to focus. Most of the times we don't children, that there is no we say something in our home that we finish what we start. Whatever you start, you make sure you finish. So whatever, even if it's reading, if you are reading for 30 minutes, you make sure that you are done with that 30 minutes before you move on to another task. That is how you build focus. Or maybe if your child is a kinesthetic learner, kinesthetic kids, they can't stay in one place for a very long time. They wouldn't be able. If you do that, you're killing them. So you can practice the 25 to 5 rule. That is, they will sit for maybe 25 minutes, take a break for 5 minutes, and then they will come back. That kind of thing. We need to take note of that. And what you can also do to help your child build focus is you can also, anytime, something like you can get them some puzzles to arrange. Puzzles, they all are focus building activities. When they sit down, it's teaching them to solve problems, and it's also teaching them to focus. Focus. You even build focus when you let your children read more. I was watching a video, I think was it last week, and someone was actually sharing why so many kids of today are able to focus because we don't let them read. We don't let them read. So if you let your children read more, you are building their focus skills. And the fourth habit is the daily reflection and gratitude. Daily reflection and gratitude. Okay, reflection builds awareness. Gratitude prevents entitlement. We have so many people who are entitled these days. So many people, they feel entitled. I mean, it's too much. It seems like most Africans, it seems like we all the time, even if your brother, something is for your brother or your sister, you feel like you are entitled to that thing. So we need to, if we want to raise kids who are not, entitled, we need to teach them gratitude. We need to teach them that whatever, I tell my kids, I see, even if someone gives you a pin, you need to be grateful to that person, because at that point in time, if they didn't give you that pin, maybe you wouldn't have been able to do what you wanted to do. So even if someone gives you a pin, you need to ensure that you are grateful for that thing. So we need to teach them gratitude. Practice bedtime reflection. So some of the questions you can ask them are, what made you or what made me proud today? So you are the parent, you can ask them during maybe when it's time for them to sleep, maybe 8 o'clock or 8:30 p.m. You can have some bedtime reflection, time with them. And then you ask them, what made you proud today? What did you learn today? And how are you going to level up, or how are you going to improve tomorrow? These are questions that you can make it a routine, and you build routine. Pick one thing and make it be consistent with that thing. So many people tell me that, hey, you are so consistent. You do this. You are. Yes, it's something that I built intentionally. So you need to, if you want your children to be able to do that, please find a time. It doesn't have to be 1 hour, even 30 minutes. You can just dedicate some 10 minutes with your kids for these things that we are talking about, okay? So let's look at part B. Part B is how to balance academic preparation with emotional strength. Okay, next slide, please. Hello, next slide. Can I have next slide? So yes, whilst we wait for the next slide, we can move on with that. So the next slide actually talks about, let me check from my notes. Okay, so the danger of one-sided success. Okay, many kids excel academically, but crumble when they are under pressure. Others are emotionally vibrant, but they underperform in school. So balance is the sustainable success. Yes, you need to create some balance. You don't only need to focus on the academics of the child, always expecting. There are kids who are very good. I recall when we were in school, I think JHS, I recall very well clearly. There was this guy who was so intelligent. Like from GSS 1 to GSS 3, I think he was first throughout. No one could take that from him. He was so intelligent. But later on in life, what we heard about this guy was so sad, because no skill was built. He found himself in a company that he had no business going there, and it destroyed him. So we don't want to only focus. I know it's not like it's bad for kids to perform well in school. No, don't get me wrong. I love it when my kids do well. I love it. But we don't need to only focus on that skill. There are skills that our children need to survive in this century. And if we are saying that, during our time, but our parents didn't teach us even emotional intelligence, our parents didn't teach us this, but we are fine. No, we are not fine. We are not fine. And in my upcoming book, actually I spoke more about that. Did we really turn out okay? We didn't. Connecting with the heart of your child, that is the upcoming book that is coming. So expect that book. And when it comes, make sure you grab it, because there's a lot of things that you are going to learn from that book. So the success balance equation, let's look at that. Academic excellence plus emotional intelligence is equal to an unstoppable child. That is what we term as the alpha kid. The alpha kid. Academically sound, emotionally sound. That is the child. That is the kind of child we want to see. A child can have, IQ. Their IQ skills can be all that. But without emotional intelligence, they can't really suffer life. And that is why it's important, as we are building the other skill, we are also looking at the other skills that they need to survive in life. So visual model, that is the 4 quadrants. They are in 4 quadrants. We have the high academics plus the high emotional, that is equal to leaders. So people who have the high academics plus high emotional intelligence can be leaders. I haven't seen, if you are a leader and you can't have control over your emotions, then I don't know the kind of leader you are. A leader is someone who needs to be emotionally intelligent. And if you seek to, if you think, or if you know that your child, you want to grow your child to become a leader, then this is a skill you need to focus on building in your child. I hope you are learning. If you are getting it, if you are receiving value, let us see your comments in the comment section. Okay, all right, thank you. So high academics plus low emotional intelligence will produce burnout achievers, and low academics plus high emotional one, but the child will underperform. That is also not something that we want. And low academics, low emotional intelligence, this child will be at risk. So we need to focus on the academics and then building the emotional intelligence. So let's look at academic preparation strategies. Okay, consistent routines, fixed bedtime. We've spoken enough about routines. So fixed bedtime, steady, blogs, reading habits. You need to actually sit down. It's very, very important. See, have time. Create these things for your child. And if you have any challenges, our doors are open. You can reach out to us and then, seek for some clarity, and we'll be there to help you throughout the process. Because at the end of the day, we seek to raise children to become, to make this continent better. We have enough resources, but we are suffering. It's because of, it all boils down to how we are raising our children. So we need to take note of that. And learning ownership. So let kids plan their weekly study goals. It's important. Let them plan it. If they can't do it, you can sit together with them, and then you do it with them. As Coach Kwame said, you do it for them, and then you do it with them. You do, they do, and then you supervise, and then later on you can just leave them to do by themselves. And don't just do one thing, 1, 2, 3, and say you have done enough with you, and I expect you to be able to do it. No. Make sure they really get it. You have taught them enough for them to understand before you can actually move on to the next thing. Okay, so ask your child, what's your top 3 learning goals this week? Okay, by midterm, your child will actually drive his own students' studies instead of waiting for reminders. So you need to give them prompts. You need to give them something that will actually let them go do something. And as time goes on, my kids, I always say that when we were starting, I was starting journaling with them. Okay, it was actually very tough. They weren't getting it. We started when they were quite young. I think when they were 5, we started journaling. They didn't understand anything. They didn't even know. Sometimes it seemed like it was too much for them. But gradually, I'll even let them write just a line of how their day went. Just a line was okay for a beginner. And then we tried. And it's now, I don't have to, we don't have to remind them. We don't have to talk. We don't have to do anything. They'll just go for their journals, fill their journals. And then, so we set reminders for them and then they do it. Okay. When it's time, they go pick up their journals and then they fill it. So we can do these things. These things are things that are not so, difficult. They are not things we can't do. We can actually do it if we give it some time, if we become very intentional. Can I have the next slide, please? Yeah, so let's look at emotional strength strategies. Emotional strength strategies. So tool number 1, the BRAVE method. That is for handling stress. So we need to actually help our children. And I always say that if you are not emotionally intelligent as a parent, it will actually be very difficult for you to raise an emotionally intelligent parent. But anyway, I believe that even with these things that we are teaching, you can still learn yourself as a parent. You can learn, and then you can begin to teach your child. So the BRAVE method, the B means breathe deeply. Whenever, they feel any sort of emotion, they feel angry, they feel all of that, tell them to take a deep breath. And then the R means recognize the feeling. That is self-awareness. What am I feeling? How am I feeling? Do I feel nervous? Do I feel sad? Do I feel angry? What am I feeling? Teach them. I tell parents to download the emotional wheel. If I think you can get it online. Just search Google the emotional wheel. You can get it, print it out, and then teach your children. Begin to teach your children about the different kinds of emotions that we have. Teach them about the emotions so that when they are unable to, they are able to express themselves because they don't even understand the emotions that they are feeling. So let them know. And then you can also do so. This is something that we do too. If you are able to control your emotions throughout the month, okay, at the end of the month, you are going to get something, a gift from mom or dad. So this is something you can also do. Whoever is able to control themselves, we hold each other accountable. And then we ensure that at the end of the day, you are giving them that gift. It's also going to help them become more emotionally intelligent. And the A means accept, okay? Accept that it's temporary. The emotions I'm feeling is something that it's okay to feel that emotion. It doesn't mean that, it's going to be there forever and ever. It's just an emotion that I'm feeling, and it's perfectly okay. That takes us to the next point. Validate yourself. Validate the emotion. Whatever emotion that your child feels, don't say, why are you angry? Why are you this? Why are you crying? No, they have the right to be angry. They have the right to cry. Crying is okay. Tell them that it's okay to cry, but crying will not get you what you want. So let them cry and give them some, comfort. Give them, rub your hands at their back. And then when they are done crying, teach them that this is how you communicate what you want. If you don't tell us, if you don't tell mommy, if you don't tell daddy what you want, how will we know that this is what you want if you cry? Even if you want something from God, you go kneel down, cry to God. You still need to put in the work. You still need to do what you have to do. Crying will not get you the solution. You need to do what you have to do. And this is something we need to begin now to teach our children, okay? It's okay. Let them know whatever emotion that you feel, it's perfectly okay. But when you feel angry, it doesn't mean you need to scatter things. It doesn't mean you need to go and bring a knife and then, be threatening people. No. When you are angry, take a deep breath, calm down, Recognize, ask yourself, what kind of emotion is that? Accept that emotion, validate that emotion. And then the E means engage solutions. What can you do about the emotions that you are feeling? So tell them, okay, what can I do? How can I actually go about this emotion that I'm feeling? So this is what we need to begin to teach our children. That is when the coping strategies come in. You can also teach them when you're angry, take a deep breath, or we have something that we do, smell the flower, blow the candle. So this is the flower. This, your finger stands for the flower. You can pick anything. This is the flower and the candle at the same time. So you blow the candle, you smell the flower. That is taking a deep breath, a breathe in and breathe out. Okay, so let's look at tool number 2, stress inoculation. Don't shield your child from pressure. Expose them gradually. Don't shield your children. Don't bail them out. Whatever challenge, whatever thing that they have to go through, let them be able to go through. This one, especially the mothers, we are most of the time, we want to bail them out quickly because of the mother instincts. It's okay, but we need to, because we are not going to always be there for the kids. It will get to a time we will not be there. That is inevitable. It's there. So let your children go through that, whatever challenge, the pressure, expose them. You can also intentionally expose them to pressures, to challenges. Okay, you can have every week, you can have a weekly challenge. You start small. Maybe you let them read aloud in front of the whole family. Even if your child is someone who feels shy, is not confident, these are some of the things they can also do to help them with their confidence, level. It's very, very important. Okay, so the tool number 3. All right, so let's move on to tool number 3, emotional bonding rituals. Okay, academic stress decreases when kids feel emotionally secure. So some of the things we can do is every week you can go on a no gadget walk. You take a walk with your kids, in your area. You can just take some walk. You don't take your phones whilst you are taking that walk. You put your phone at home because the phone can be a distraction. Whilst you're having the good time, you have a call. Maybe some of the calls you need to answer. You need to answer to some messages and all of that. So we advise that when you're having this kind of, walk, you put the phone down and then you have a conversation. Connect with the children. Without connection, you can't even correct a child. You can't correct a child when there is no connection. And then you can cook together, or some bedtime talks. You can have all of those things with your child. When a child feels seen at home, they show up stronger at school. So don't disconnect, connect. At least have every day. You can every day in the inner tribe. We have every day there's a connection activity that we give to parents to, so that they will be able to connect more with their kids. This is something that is very, very, very important. You don't wait, you don't disconnect, you don't do all sort of things to the child, and then when they grow and then they are not connected with you, most parents, that is when they complain. My children don't want to listen to me, they are not my friends, they don't want to even tell me anything. No, you didn't build that connection. So it's important that you build that connection when they are young, so that when they grow, there will still be that connection. Can I have the next slide, please? Okay, so the parent's role. This is bringing us to the end of the session. What is your role? Okay, the parent's role in integration. What is your role? The first thing is that don't push, don't push one and neglect the other. Balance, create some balance. Don't just focus on only one thing, like we indicated earlier. Don't just focus on the academics, development. Focus on the other skills that you need to build in your child. Celebrate efforts, not just results. That is what we do. We don't look at the effort. Hey, you did well in your exams. Wow, that's good. You got 100%. You got distinction. Whoa, that's good. Then we celebrate it, and then we leave what the children actually did to get that result. My daughter, she had issues, okay, with maths. I think when she was it class 1 or so, maths was actually very difficult for her. And I told her that no, I need to actually get intentional with it. So I'll tell her maths, oh, maths is the easiest. And do you know that maths, when you learn maths, it applies in all other areas of your life. When you're cooking in the kitchen, if you don't know anything about maths, your food will not even be taste nice. If you don't, even in your workings, you need to do calculations. When you are anything that you're doing, you need to have that math skill. So I told her that math is not difficult at all. Math is even difficult than English. I needed to correct her mindset about maths. So I did that, and then gradually we began, in the kitchen when we are cooking, we'll be using the measuring cups. We'll have tomatoes. So these are 5 tomatoes. If we are adding this, how many tomatoes are we getting? And all of that. That is the thing that we did. And I made sure that and she has comparing her results, okay, in maths from when she was in class 1 to where she is now. I see a great difference. And this term, I think the last academic term, she got, was it a B or I've forgotten their grades, but she did so well in maths. And I was so proud of her. I told her that, you see, the little things that we did every day, that is what has made you improve in maths. Every day you are learning, every day you are learning. You see, this is how we've been able to, the things that we did little by little, we've been able to get some results, good results at the end of the day. So I told her that the efforts that she put in was the reason why she's been able to achieve that result. So don't ever skip the process. That effort that they put in to be able to get that result. And if they fail to, let them know that, okay, you failed. Okay, you failed. It's because you didn't do this. You didn't follow your routines. You didn't follow your study routines and all of that. That is why you didn't perform well. So this time, this is what we are going to do. Sit with them. Focus on, something, subjects that they didn't really perform well. If your child didn't perform well in a particular subject, that is not the end of the day. It's perfectly okay. Failure is okay. Let them know that, okay, this is what we didn't do. And these are the things we can do now to be able to improve on, our results the next term. So we need to celebrate their efforts. We need to also check in emotionally before correcting academically. Check their emotions. How are they feeling? How were they feeling? How was class? Whenever a teacher comes to class, were they afraid of the teacher? Why? Were they able to pay attention? Find out, have conversations with your kids so that whatever they tell you, you will know how to also go about, tell the teacher, and then at the end of the day, the child will feel safe. These are things we don't have to ignore. We shouldn't only focus on books, school uniform, school bag, your socks, your underwears. No, let us also look at the emotions. Let's have conversations with our kids. And we need to model what we want to see in our kids. Your children will do what you are doing. They will not do what you're telling them to do. I believe by now we all get that. They will do what you are doing. So you can't tell them, go and pick a book and read. You have to, every day, you have to read at least 1 hour every day. And then they see you always on your phone. And even, it's not like you're working on the phone. You are TikToking, you are Instagramming, Facebooking, all of those things. That is what most parents do. And our children will grow up to also pick those same things that we do. They will only be binging, consuming people's content without also creating something valuable for others. So we need to be very, very intentional. Parenting is something that we need to be very, very, very intentional about. If you prepare your child only for exams, they will pass the exams. If you prepare them for life, they will pass every test life throws at them. So let's prepare our children for life. Let's not just prepare them for exams. Exams will pass, exam times will pass, and then life will come. If they are not prepared enough, so many of us can actually tell. Some of us are parents, we didn't have that opportunity. Our parents didn't know these things. Like, they didn't have access to nothing. So we all felt the effect it had on us. So now that we know, now that there are so many resources We have Pick Parent Academy that is here to help you in your parenting journey. You need to be willing to give your time to learn and to practice whatever that we teach. So this is where I end my session. I believe it's been very, very, okay, so let's look at the reflection. So reflection, okay, which of these habits will you actually start at your home this week? Anytime I attend a class, immediately the class is ending, I'm picking out, even if it's one thing I need to pick up to implement, I pick up and then I implement sharp, sharp. Nothing like delays. No, we when you are delaying, sometimes you tell yourself, I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. You will never do it. So if you have to, the thing you have to do, just pick it up and do and move. Move. We always need to move because our children are growing. Every second they are growing. They are growing. Time doesn't wait when you are ready. Time is always moving, whether you are ready or not. And however you are raising your child, it is something you are creating. You are forming an identity. You are, I mean, you are doing, if you are doing things anyhow, that is how you're going to see anyhow child. But if you are intentional, you are going to actually be able to do something very, very, you are going to actually be able to get something of value at the end of the day. So pick one mindset habit and one emotional strength strategy, and then begin to implement. Yes, okay. Please, can you take off the comment so that I can read the last part? Okay, so practice daily and watch your child's performance and resilience multiply. Very, very important. Practice is what will make us actually perfect. So let's continue. We as parents, we shouldn't expect our children to be perfect all the time. They will make mistakes. Let us accept it. Home should be their training ground, so they can make mistakes. Everything, let them make the mistakes, but we need to ensure that they are also learning to become better. This is where I end my session. Thank you all so much for joining me, and let's move on to the next session with Coach Kwame.
Hi, that was so wonderful. That's so wonderful. Yes, so we have a few comments that came through, like very, very important. Farida too, Yakubu was saying that the points you stated are very, very important, and a daily routine on self affirmation. So she's saying that she's going to start immediately. It's wonderful. It is true.
Awesome.
Yes, of course, we know these things that you're saying, but the more you hear them, the more you are prompted that you really have a lot of work to do. So thank you so much, Auntie Kia, for whatever that you've given us. And we are moving straight into the last session. And we entreat everyone to still give your most attention to whatever we are giving you in this class. It is very, very important. It is very, very important. Yes. Okay. So let's go straight to the next part of this class. Now, why are we saying how you're going to prepare your child for the next academic year? Okay. Why the next academic year? Why is this one school year so important? Why is it so important? This is why it's important. You need to take action now because every school year sets a tone. This year can be the foundation for the next 10 years. You see, as Ikea was saying, that tomorrow never comes. All right? Tomorrow never comes. And if you don't take action now, nothing will happen in this life. The next academic year is a build upon for all the years your child has had. Okay, so if your child was in class 1, they are moving to class 2. It's a build up of whatever they've done. And let's say we started this class around 5 o'clock p.m. and today's date is 7th September 2025. Now, 5 o'clock p.m., 7 September 2025 will never come again. So if there was something you should have done at 5 o'clock, 7 September 2025, you've missed it. This is why it is very, very important that if you've done nothing at all, if you've not taken your child's academics or how you prepare them, and let me also clarify this. This class is not a study skills class, please. This class is how, as a parent, or how you as a parent can help prepare your child very well. You see, it is not everything that you can do for your child. When they are studying, you can't study for them. But studying attitude, character, behavior, leadership, and everything rests on the child himself or herself, the children themselves. So the best you can do as a parent to prepare your kids for life and for school is to work on them, build inside them the attitudes, their habits, and everything, the mindsets that they need. That is why this one academic school year, it is very, very important. What you do this academic year will have a lasting impact on the life of your child. If you implement these simple things that we are talking about, some of you may know them already, but have you really applied them consistently? No. No. Okay, so why should you take action now? The first reason, very, very important, is compounding effect. A child who starts strong will build the confidence they need, and the confidence they build will build courage on top of that, and the courage they are able to build or gather will also continue to build their leadership. We need leaders. Okay, so if and leadership is most of the time we make the mistake of thinking that okay, a president is a leader, a politician is a leader, a school prefect is the leader. No, leadership begins with yourself. So if you're going to be successful in life or in anything that you're doing, you need to be a leader to yourself. It starts with yourself. So the child will start building strong confidence with the skills that you give them. And the confidence they get in themselves and also the confidence they get in approaching the academic year will help them build courage. And that courage will help them build the leadership they need to move into the academic year and become successful. The second reason is this window of influence will not last forever. You see, childhood and teen years are the only time we as parents have maximum influence on the lives of the kids. This is the window of influence we have. Once your child gets to 18, 20, 25 years, society takes over. But how would they fare well in the rest of their lives would depend on how you prepare them these times. So if your child is preteen or an adolescent, okay, then you are lucky. You have a lot of influence on them. So don't let this next year go without you actually having impact in the lives of these kids. And the last reason why you should take action now is that we need leaders for Africa. We need leaders for Ghana and the world. Okay. We need leaders, and leaders are formed now, not when they are 25 years. Not when. So President Mahama, who is the president of Ghana now, didn't become a president when he got to 40 years or 50 years or 30 years. He became a president in his childhood. He was built up to become a president. The opportunities that his parents gave him, the schools they sent him to, the corrections, and everything, every investment they made in him, prepared him to become a president. So we should understand that every child has a purpose to perform in this life. There is a reason why your child wasn't born a year earlier than the day or the year they were born. There is a reason why you were not born, let's say, in 1920. Well, I don't know if any of us here was born in 1920, but let's stick to our kids. Okay, there's a reason why your child was not born in 1970, because they have a special purpose to perform in this life, in the world around this time. And the child has to grow up to perform, to fulfill that God-given purpose. That is your divine contract. So once you have a child, you have a contract with God, and you are supposed to make sure that you facilitate everything that the child needs to grow up and become whoever God wants them to be in this life. So it is time to take action, not next 2 years, this particular academic year. Now, let's look at the 4 critical windows that parents have. Okay, the first one is the foundation window. The foundation window is when we are building the character basics, and it's from between ages 6 to 9. So 6 to 9, you are helping the kids build the character they need to survive in this harsh world. Then the identity window is when they are between 10 and 13 years old. In that state or within this window, they'll be discovering their strengths. Then the third window is the direction window. When they are 14 years to 16 years, then they will start getting clarity into life. They will be able to make sense of the career choices that they make, and they will also start making choices on their own. If whatever choice that they begin making within this window would depend on how you invested in the foundation window and the identity window. So you don't let this window go just like that. You don't. Okay? Then the final window is the launch window where you are launching them into life. So whether your child becomes successful at the university, after the university, or whatever happens after 18, 20, 30 years, will so much depend on the foundations you built in the foundation window, in the identity window, and the direction window. If you miss these windows, you've lost your child to society. And society too doesn't joke. Society will not joke. I always tell people that life is so fair. You get what you deserve. So if you work hard towards something, if you are intentional about something, you are going to get the thing that you're intentional about. If you live your life anyhow, you will get anyhow results. If you don't parent your child, if you don't guide your child well into the next academic year, if you don't guide them well into life, life will guide them for you. And you don't want to risk that. Okay, the other important thing I want us to consider, and for me in this class, this is the most important thing that I want all of us to take very particular note to. Most of the time, parents do not take so much importance to the relationship we have with the teachers. Most parents think that, okay, teachers are being paid, they are supposed to teach our child, they are supposed to teach the child, and that's it. Okay. And most of us have very, very unfriendly relationships with our teachers. But it's totally wrong. It is totally wrong. I call this one the PTP. So it's not the PTA, all right, the Parent Teacher Association. No, I call it the Parent Teacher Partnership. The Parent Teacher Partnership. So if you look at this diagram that I have here, we have the parent, we have the teacher, and we have the child. So there should be parent-teacher alignment. Then there should be the parent-child connection. Then you look at the teacher and the child. What kind of relationship exists between the teacher and the child? Is the teacher so fond of the child? I have been a teacher before, and there are some children that you feel so happy teaching them. You feel so happy going the extra mile to them. And there's also one principle I've realized. Any parent who is so good, so in good terms with the child, with a particular teacher. Okay, yes, so we are back. Sorry about the network. Yes, so if you like, try it. If you're a parent watching me right now, if you like, try it. If you don't have a great relationship with your child's teacher, okay, start right now. Start building the relationship. You realize that for the next academic year, your child's performance will increase one way or the other. How your child loves to attend school. There are some kids, when it's time for them to go to school, they'll be crying. They don't want to go to school and all that. You try this thing that I'm talking about. Try building a strong, a good relationship with a teacher. So, what kind of relationship exists between the teacher and the child? The parent-teacher alignment. You and the teacher should understand your child's goals and share them together. So you should share the goals you have established with your child with the teacher so that the teacher also knows where he has to help drive the child towards. So if the child needs to improve on his or her math scores or her English or science or whatever, the teacher will understand where we want them to, or where we want the child to get to. All right. And understand the teacher's methods too. As a parent, you should endeavor to understand how that teacher teaches your child. What is their style? How do they want to? My kid, my boy attends Apostle Safo Asas, Great Asas at Awoshi, and what they will tell you is that I know it is similar in most schools. For instance, with homework, most of us parents, or when I was growing up as a kid, I felt that okay, when we bring homework home to do, my parent or my guardian or the adult is supposed to help me score everything. Sometimes, for some of us, we didn't have adults or parents who really, forgive me to say, cared so much about even assisting you in your homework. So you had to do it. Even at times, most of my homeworks, about 90% of them, I do them in school before I even go home. But if you're a parent who cares so much about the performance of your child and you assist them, the teachers as great as us tell us that, okay, no, don't try to do the work for the child or for the kid. If they will get it wrong, let them get it wrong. That is their style. So at times, I definitely know that this thing is wrong or it's not really the exact correct answer. But because I understand the teacher's style of teaching, they expect the children to do their best. And even if they make mistakes, it will guide the teacher to steer them better towards a point where tomorrow they are going to understand why they made the mistake and correct themselves. So it is very, very important that as a parent, you understand the style of teaching of the particular teacher who is handling your child, okay? And coordinate support strategies. Then between you, the parent, and the child too, there should be that sort of connection. If you're a parent and your child does not connect with you, the child does not talk to you about how school went, the issues they have. When kids go to school, they are so open with their friends, okay, with their peers. So they discuss a lot of things and some of them are influenced. Every child who is susceptible to peer influence or peer pressure, there is a problem of connection between that child and the parent because you are not connected with your child. So there should be daily academic check-ins every day. Every day, try and see what went on in school if you are available physically or not. Some of us, we don't care about what goes on with our children in school. This academic year, you need to stop that. If you want your child to perform better in school and in life, show care, be concerned about how they are performing in school. What did they study today? Just a few minutes. You can spend just 5 minutes every day. Talk to your child about how school went, what they studied, whether he or she understood certain things or not, what happened, and all that. It makes that connection grow stronger and stronger. Okay. And you should also offer emotional support to the children. So whatever happens, it's not every time that they will be happy. There will be certain incidents that the children will be crying. Oh, the teacher beat me. Oh, he called me names. Oh, they didn't give me this. My friend took this and all that. Give them that emotional support as Coach Ekia was showing us or telling us to do earlier on. Then you should have celebration rituals. When things go well, find a way, even at times, a company like Tesla, okay, I always cite them as an example. Even when their rocket fails, even when they launch a rocket and the rocket blasts and explodes, it means that normally the mission failed. But immediately it blows up, they will just, all of them will be clapping and be cheering on because it is not failure. They have learned something new. They have learned one system that is not workable. So they have succeeded in understanding what will not work the next time. So they will no longer go that path again, which didn't work. So celebrate failures, celebrate successes, have celebration rituals. All right, and ensure that the parent and the child will have great relationship. So if you're a teacher here, or if you own a school, or you work in a school, or you're close to a school, try and see how best you're going to establish great relationship with your students. encourage respect between the child and the teacher, and also from the teacher to the child and from the child to the teacher. Foster communication. How will the child easily communicate with the teacher, and how will the teacher also easily communicate with the child? All right, and build confidence. Now, there are 3 levels of parent-teacher partnership, PTP, 3 levels. The first level is start of the term connection. Okay, you are setting the foundation. So there are certain things you need to do at the beginning of the term. So if your child is yet to begin their term, please make sure that the most important thing in this presentation, in this webinar, in this class, if you don't get anything at all for this one thing, please make sure you implement it, and you will realize the kind of improvement you will have in your child. So, start of the term, that is the first level of the relationship, the partnership. You are working together with the teacher to raise a wonderful, a wholesome, a responsible, a successful child who is successful academically, socially, in leadership, and in all around. The second level is ongoing communication as the term goes on. Okay, so you should stay in sync. There should be that sort of communication and collaboration whilst the term is still in progress. So, the second week, the third week, the second month, every time, every week, you should be able to communicate with the teacher. Some of us don't want to even visit our kids in school. Try as much as possible. Beginning of the term, visit the school. Mid of the term, visit the school. End of the term, visit the school. If you are a very, very busy parent, no matter how busy you are, at least you should make it a point that you visit your child's school 3 times every term. It doesn't matter. 3 times every term. Beginning, middle, and the end. Then the last level of this partnership is problem solving together with the teacher. Teachers are not enemies. We are not fighting them. They are our partners in raising the child. How can you just allow someone who spends about 6 hours every day with your child to just be there like that without giving them the support, helping them understand how your child behaves, the weaknesses your child has, the strengths your child has? So please, let's take note of this. All right. So let me just say a little bit, and you can take quick notes of this. You can take screenshots, but later, as I said earlier on, we're going to share the presentation and other resources that we have with you. Okay. So the level 1 is the start of the term or the beginning of the term. So at the beginning of the school year, introduce yourself to the teacher and share key information about your child. So you should let your teacher or the teacher understand the child's strengths. So you can go like, okay, my child or Akwesi, if he is Akwesi, he loves maths, okay, but struggles with reading long passages. Just tell the experiences you have with a child at home with regards to the academic work. Communicate that to the teacher at the beginning of the term so that the teacher will know which areas they can assist. Then let them understand the child's personality. If you, the parent, today you are in this class and you don't know your child's personality, that is a red flag. So please try as much as possible to understand your child's personality. Then communicate that personality to the teacher. So you can say, my child, she is shy at first, but warms up when encouraged. There are a lot of children like that. At first, when they meet strangers or new people, they are shy, but as the relationship goes on and they're encouraged, they warm up and that shyness goes away. All right. And have family goals and share the family goals. What goals have you established with a child? Okay, we are working on building her confidence to ask questions in class, because when she's at home, she's not able to ask questions. Or when she meets strangers, she can't greet them and all that. All right? Yes. So this is a practical step. Please write a short 1-page parent note to your teacher. And what we are going to do is that after this class, if you joined the WhatsApp page or the WhatsApp group, we want each person to prepare your parent's note to the teacher and submit it. by close of day tomorrow. It's just a simple, subtle way of keeping you accountable to whatever you've learned in this presentation or in this class. So write a short one page. If you type, fine. If you write it by hand too, fine. And write at the top, parents' notes to teacher. If you know the teacher's name, you can write the teacher's name. If you don't know to, that's fine. And give it to your child's main teacher during the first week of school. So the first week in school, if they've started, it's not too late. It's quite early in the term. Prepare it, that short note to the teacher this week and submit it, send it to the teacher in school, your parents, and let it be a routine thing. Every term you have to do it. All right, the next level is ongoing communication, staying in sync. So there should always be ongoing communication. Don't wait until exams to find out your child is struggling, or create regular touch points. Okay, or when there's an issue before you communicate or you call the teacher. No, there should be monthly check-ins. So every month, send a quick WhatsApp message or a short email. You can even create a WhatsApp group for all the teachers who teach your kids. If you're a mother, or your father, or the partners, all of it, and all the teachers too in that group. Then once in a while you share things. You can even share airtime to the teachers and all that. Create that great relationship with your teachers. So you can send them a WhatsApp message or an email or a text message. Hi, sir, madam, just checking in. How is my child doing? You mentioned the child's name and all that. Okay, anything we can help with at home or reinforce at home? It's simple as that. Okay, then homework and project support. Instead of correcting every mistake the child does, as I said earlier on, ask the teacher how they want work done so your support doesn't conflict with their teaching style. All right? Then praise, partnership. Praise together with a partnership. When you see your child improve, thank the teacher. Thank the teacher. Call the teacher and say, oh, teacher, this time my child did well here. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful. Thank the teacher. Give them gifts. Teachers remember supportive parents. I've been a teacher before. Some of you who are watching and you are teachers, you know, we're all humans. And there are certain traits about human beings that never change. If you gift someone, it takes an extremely ungrateful person. But even that, it has some psychological effect on the person. So if you gift teachers and thank them and all that, they feel so good and they are like they feel that they have to do whatever they can to support you and help your child. Okay, the last level is problem solving together when challenges arise. So if your child misbehaves or struggles academically or falls behind, please don't confront the teacher angrily. Some of us parents, we go to the school and Charlie, it's not an easy thing. It is war. We want the whole school to realize that you can't joke with my child. I am the CEO of this, or I am Pastor Reverend, or whatever. You don't touch my child, though. Please, let's be friends with the teachers because they are influencing your children 6 hours every day. Don't confront the teacher. Approach them as partners. Ask, oh, what have you observed in class about my child? Does he do this? Is she able to do this and all that? And what strategies can we try at home too? So it's a partnership. He will do his part in school and you will do yours at home. Share what you've noticed at home. He's been, let's say, distracted by video games in the evening, so we are adjusting bedtime and all that. And this turns potential conflict into collaboration. So this is a ready-to-use tool. I just want to give you straight away. If you have, you can take a screenshot or just jot them down quickly. It's a simple 4-question script you can copy into your notes, your email, your WhatsApp. The first thing is, how is my child participating in class this month? Are there specific strengths you've noticed? All those in the comments asking questions, I'll address all those questions. So please don't worry. The second thing is, are there specific strengths you've noticed? What is one area we should work on at home? And how can I support your teaching goals for my child? Use this once a month. It takes 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, but it creates lasting impact. So as I said earlier, if you don't implement anything at all in this class, this thing is non-negotiable. If you're doing it already, then enhance it. Quick action steps for parents after this webinar. So as I said earlier on, you need to write your parents' note to the teacher, 1 page. Okay, just state 3 points and share it with us. Other parents will see and learn from it. There's nothing to be shy about. Okay, it will tell us you are really serious and you didn't waste your time coming to this masterclass. Then set a monthly reminder in your phone to send the 4 questions check-in. Every month, set a reminder that let's say 30th of every month, you have to send that 4 question check-in with your child's teacher. Then at the end of each term, thank your child's teacher. A short note is okay. If you don't have money or you don't have any gift, it doesn't matter. Just a short note of gratitude. Thank them. And always make sure that you communicate or connect with the head of the school too. It is very, very, very important. So whatever gift you can manage or you can afford, get it. It doesn't matter how small it is. Make it a ritual. You will see if you do this thing this academic year, oh, you'll come back and you give testimonies. Hallelujah. All right, so here we are. Let me just take a quick look at some of the questions. So please kindly share the morning declarations too on the page for us. Okay, that's great. Okay, so someone is asking, how do I join the inner tribe? Well, yes, Auntie Kuya will address that, or you can ask about that in the WhatsApp page because our time is very limited. So we go straight to whatever we're doing here. So daily routine on self-information. Okay, that's fine. So let's continue. Now, information without implementation is entertainment. Information without implementation is entertainment, of course, except that that information is not important to you, then you push it away. But if it's important to you, then you are obliged to implement it. There are a lot of us, we take several classes here and there, we watch videos and all that. This is a free class. But what we are teaching you, we are imploring you, if you apply them, you will see results. They are very, very simple things to do, but you see results. You'll be empowering your child for great performance the next academic year. But we have created something too that will help parents. We know a lot of parents are busy. You don't have the time. You keep forgetting the stresses of life, a lot of responsibilities and all that. That is why we have created the Alpha Kids Mentorship Program. So we are just, as we mentioned earlier on in this presentation or in this class, we are going to talk to you about the Alpha Kids Mentorship Program. So all that we've talked about, the Alpha Kids has been designed, okay, to raise a new generation of confident, impact-driven leaders who thrive academically, socially, and morally, which is shaping society with excellence and compassion. That is what the Alpha Kids Mentorship Program is about. And we entreat parents to at least consider putting their kids into the Alpha Kids Mentorship Program. Already, we have 15 parents who have secured spots for their kids. But we don't want to do something that we can't control. We want to see it's all about results. And when I go on to discuss a few things about what will go on in this or what goes on in this Alpha Kids Mentorship Program, you understand why we don't want huge numbers. We are taking only 15 people already, only 50 people, only 50 kids, only 50 children. So if one day or if tomorrow or right now, a parent decides that, okay, they have 35 kids, they are registering all of them in the Alpha Kids. That's it. We will not take anyone again. Okay, but our core philosophy is this. Children learn best through mentorship, storytelling, practice, and accountability. So we've designed this to integrate leadership and academics, home life, and wellness. Wellness comes with personal hygiene, health, and all that. All right. And the identity of this mentorship program is that it's an elite leadership academy for children. It's a premium positioning, parent-friendly, results-driven. Now, this is what your child is going to receive in the Alpha Kids program. There's going to be weekly power sessions. So every Sunday, we have a class with the kids. It's an online program with periodic in-person activities that we have. And it's also arranged or designed to be age appropriate. So we have age appropriate groups. So we have the 6 to 10, 11 to 13, and 14 to 18. We don't take any child that is below 6 years. No. We want to be able to implement whatever we want to implement with them and see results. And there's also a curriculum, okay, a 12-month curriculum that we've designed, which also divides the entire year into 4 quarters. The details of that will be shared with, if for those parents who were part of the Reading Minds community and also are in the wait list to, I believe that we'll share more information as to the details of the curriculum with you in the group for the Alpha Kids mentorship program. All right. And we also have the parent support system because it's an online program. And the kids are going to use your digital devices to do this. For those of you who are in there, or those of you who are yet to register your kids in the Alpha Kids mentorship, what we're going to do is that we will explain, we have a session with all the parents, but every month too, we have a special class for parents who have their kids in the mentorship, because it is through you that we get all these valuable educational materials, trainings to your children. So you should also have an understanding of how the entire system, the entire mentorship system, because kids or children work by, they function, they learn by mentorship. They develop by mentorship, by modeling. So this is strictly a mentorship program that we're giving to kids. And there's also a special experience or special experiences that we have. So there are holiday leadership camps that we're going to have in there, industry visits. So once a while, we will choose a particular industry, let's say a company or a manufacturing factory or whatever, visit with these kids. And everything is built on, because we want to ensure that that's 1 year that your child spends in this mentorship program will be able to take him or her for the rest of his life, even if they don't continue with the mentorship program. That is how we're doing it. So it is purely practical. There are public speaking opportunities that we give in this mentorship, community impact project, and leadership challenges. Now, there's something interesting that we have in this program, and this is it. Those of you who have already secured spots, please, after saying this, don't run away. You will do it because it will give you great results. What you're going to do is that we'll give you a time, some challenges to do. If you work in a company, there will be a time that we will ask you to go to your immediate boss in the business. If you are not the boss, if you're working for someone, let's say you're working with a bank or any company at all, you introduce your child to your boss. We will guide you, we will help you how you're going to do it. And your child should have a conversation with your boss or your CEO or something. You see, the CEO is also a parent, and they would love to have an interaction with your child. They will ask, why does your child want to? And they will also understand, you explain to them that it's a mentorship program you've designed for them, because the child should be exposed to the realities of life early. Some of us, we wish we were exposed earlier in life. We would have been far, far, far ahead, but it didn't happen. But we know that we can do that for our children. Okay, every parent in the not the inner tribe, sorry, in the Alpha Kids mentorship program should also know their assembly member, their MP for their area, their key leaders, their church leaders. And you will find a way to introduce your kids to all these leaders, to have sessions with them. It's an indirect mentorship we want to push into these kids. So by the time they are exposed out there, they are prepared one way or the other to it. So it's a very interesting experience for you, both the parents and the children too. Now, this program is a 2,500 a year program. Now, I decided not to split all the expenses that will go into this because, for instance, if let's say we take a week every week, and every week is a teacher you've given to your child to teach the child, and every week, let's say every month, you're paying a teacher 200 cedis, okay, for that mentorship that you're giving to your child. After 12 months, okay, so even if it's 10 months, it's 2,000 cities. After 12 months, it's 2,400 cities. That alone. Now, every month, every child will be given a book to read and we'll do a review of it. There are other resources too that we're going to give to the children. All right. Now, let's look at all these things. Let's compare this to the extra classes we give to our kids, the one-on-one tutoring that we secure for our kids. They are all costly, but none of them work towards really preparing your child for life. They are only about the books and how they will score and perform and excel in exam. But this program is helping your child become excellent academically, excellent socially, in leadership, in character building. Your child will be able to even help you at home learn basic home skills. Your child should be able to even cook certain foods by themselves, take their bath, some basic chores and routines that they will perform by themselves. So this is a serious personal development program that every parent should have for their child. Now, the cost of a struggling child is priceless. How can you spend a lot of money every time, every term? Some of you are paying 10,000 cedis a year. Some are paying 5,000 cedis a term. Some are paying 3,000 cedis a term for so many years. And after the child gets to JHS, SHS, they are not emotionally sound. They can't take on challenges in life. You always have to guide them. We know our kids. We know our children. So wouldn't you love a kid that can speak in public? A kid that can stand in front of their own class and motivate their mates? A kid that is really able to take initiatives at home, even when you are not available. We need to groom our kids. And this is really a movement. The secret is that it is a movement we are trying to create in Ghana. A select group of kids who are well developed all around in all areas. And the reason why we've integrated, let your child talk to your boss at work, your assembly member, at the hospital, your family doctor, whoever, and all that, is that we want a select few exclusive group of kids who we are going to groom to become the next leaders of this country, who we are going to groom to become the next change makers of this continent, Africa. Only 50 kids we can work with. 51 we will not be able to work with. 100 kids, no, we can't. So that we will track every individual child and make sure that we are having the results that we want to have in them. But for everyone on this platform, or let's say everyone who joined this class, if you would want to have your child in this, we are taking 1,000 cedis off for 24 hours. 1,000 cedis off. So instead of paying 2,500, you can pay just 1,500 cedis to get your child locked in. And don't worry, if you are interested and the money is not right now available to you, from now to 24 hours, 6 p.m. tomorrow, you can secure your spot by paying 100 cedis to Auntie Ekuya, or she will share the online link, the payment link with you in the WhatsApp group, or you can also send her a personal message on the page, find out more about this program, okay, and understand how everything is going to be and how you can secure yourself. Registration ends for this special offer. It ends 6 p.m. tomorrow. So 6:15 tomorrow, Monday, it is no longer 1,500. It is 2,500. The 15 kids for the parents who have already secured theirs, but they are safe. They have secured theirs already, so they are safe in there. But for the rest of you, by virtue of you joining this class, spending over an hour with us to learn this, it is not easy. Your time is precious. We value your time. Okay, the data you used, we value all that. So we need to also meet you halfway. That is why we are giving you 1,500, 1,000 Ghana cedis off. And you're also going to have a further 30% discount if you have 3 or more kids. There's an interesting thing that we are still trying to see. We just don't want to get over the number that we want. That if you introduce other parents who want to be interested and all that, but we are afraid that we may shoot beyond the number. So we are keeping it tight this way so that we can have the effectiveness and efficiency that we want to have. Okay, so these are the next steps. After everything that we've learned, we will ask you to ask your questions, anything that you don't understand, whether you like it or not. So far as you join this class, your child should perform at least 1% better this academic year. That is a challenge we are throwing to you. Unless you decide to leave the WhatsApp page or the WhatsApp group we created, we are not taking anyone out. We will track everyone. We will try and reach out to see how you are implementing the simple strategies we've given to you in this class. Okay, and please feel free to also reach back to us about any challenges you're facing and all that. So send your email into the WhatsApp group so that we can send the resources that we give. So we have a guide on how you're going to build the parent teacher relationship. That's the parent teacher partnership, how you're going to build it. Okay, so we also have the 21-day character building framework. We also have other guides that we will send you. They will we will help you implement everything that we've taught in this class. And also send a direct message to any of the admins on the page to secure your child spot for Alpha Kids. Now, let's see if there are any questions. I'm bringing Ikuya on. Then we can take, yeah, so we just look at, okay, a few comments here. I've read those comments already. So someone says, please kindly share the morning declarations too. Okay, great. And Mavis is saying that I love this session. Thank you for this session. Okay, thank you too. And this session is very insightful. Thank you. That's great. Thank you too. I would love to join the WhatsApp group. Okay, so click. Auntie Kia, how do you get someone who doesn't? Will you put your number here?
Okay, which WhatsApp group? Is it the masterclass, the back to school masterclass WhatsApp group?
Auntie Kia, you just mentioned that's the number so that anyone who wants to reach out to you, someone who is not in the WhatsApp group, can have it. So please mention it. What's the number?
0244 135318. That's my personal number.
0244135318. Okay, so yes. I'll show it on the screen.
Or they can also reach out to this number that need 053 45155.
I think one number is enough. They can send a text or WhatsApp so that we are not confused. Yes. Okay. So yes. So someone is asking, are the books hard or soft copy? Oh, the books are soft copy. The books are soft copy. There are hard copy books.
They still talking about the books that we are going to use in the Alpha Kits. If it's in the Alpha Kits mentorship, those are hard copy books.
Those are hard copy books. For the Alpha Kit books, they are hard copy books. Okay. But for the resources we are going to share with you, they are PDFs. They are digital ebooks. Okay. Yes. So Emilia is saying, thank you so much for this great session. Thank you too. And rich content shared. Good job, team. Okay, Julian. Yes. And Nyakwade, are the books hard copy? Okay, I think we addressed it. So how do I join the Alpha mentorship program? Yes. So please just, if you're on the WhatsApp page for the free class, for this free class, yes, you can just send a message or send a message to the admin, or Auntie Kia will just share the registration link with you, anyone who is interested. Okay, so I would love to join the WhatsApp group. Yes, I think we addressed it. So great. Yes, this is the V. Thank you for sharing such valuable information with us. Yes, okay, so I'll just show the, yes, the number again. So, Ikuya, what do you have to say? We are finally coming to a close with this class.
Yes. So thank you so much to every parent who is here. We really, really appreciate your time. We honor you. We don't take your time for granted. And we are so grateful to you for joining to also learn something. And these things are this is just the beginning. There's so much, as I said, there's so much, so much to learn. And the only thing as parents that we can do is to be the willingness, okay, to be available, to learn and implement, not just learn. I always stress on the fact that we need to implement what we learn. So thank you so much. And if you need further explanation on the Alpha Kids mentorship, how you can join, remember you have only up to tomorrow 6 p.m. to qualify to pay the 1,500 cedis. So after tomorrow 6 p.m. it's going back to the original price, which is 2,500. And we are also going to give out t-shirts, Alpha Kids mentorship t-shirts to kids. Anyone who registered is going to have the t-shirt. Like I'm wearing mine, so beautiful. And they're going to have theirs and so many resources that we are going to share with you. So thank you all so much. And if you have any questions, any further details you would want to get, kindly send any of the admins a message so that we can respond to you and then you know what next steps to take. Thank you all so much.
Okay, yes. So before we go, we are also going to have the parenting conference this year. We do it every year. So we share the details with you. The parenting conference is in October. So very soon the information will come out, the ad and everything, so that you can prepare and join. It's a free conference that we have. It's an online conference that we have, so that we usually there's so much to learn. There's a lot to learn in how we're going to raise wonderful kids. And there's also the kids conference that is coming in either November or December this year. So please stay tuned. So thank you also. We really appreciate you, the time that you took to spend here, for committing yourself to be on this class. Thank you so much. And all that we pray is that try to at least implement one thing that you picked in this class. Thank you so much, and God bless us all. Have a good evening, everyone.
Bye.